Boris Johnson under pressure from his own MPs over tax rises. As the Prime Minister prepares to unveil plans to fix England's social care system, the growing row about who should pay for it. Also ahead, the boss of one of Prince Charles's charities stands down after allegations he helped a major donor secure an honour. And a bright, shining star. Tributes are paid to Sarah Harding, the Girls Aloud singer who has died at the age of 39.
This is ITV News with Duncan Golestani.
Good evening. The Prime Minister is under growing pressure from within his own party as he prepares to unveil plans to overhaul England's social care system. Many of his own MPs, as well as those from opposition parties, are against increasing national insurance to pay for reforms which are expected to be announced this week. They say any increase to help pay for care will hit younger generations over those who stand to benefit sooner. Here's our political correspondent, Romilly Weeks.
It's the problem that successive governments have tried to bat away for over a decade. This week, Boris Johnson is finally expected to deliver his long-promised plan for adult social care. Those who work in the sector say the current system is stretched beyond endurance.
It's a time bomb, waiting to explode in terms of people out there who are needing of care and can't receive care. We see that every day, where there's a lot of pressure, funding pressure for people to go back home when they really need to be in residential care.
This was the promise made 2 years ago.
We will fix the crisis in social care once and for all.
If the Prime Minister finally makes good on that, it might involve breaking another, the manifesto pledge not to raise national insurance. It's expected a rise of at least 1% could be used to fund social care. Ministers today were reluctant to confirm tax rises could be on the way.
You're absolutely right in challenging ministers about how we will be reforming the adult social care system, which we are determined to do so. But I am not going to engage in a hypothetical discussion when we haven't yet published the details.
But there is already a growing backlash within the Tory party over what some see as a plan to tax younger workers to subsidise care for older people.
I just think it's a huge mistake. I think this is a real weather vane issue. I think breaking a manifesto pledge and just reaching for a tax lever, I just think is wrong.
The Chancellor and the Prime Minister have been in talks over the weekend, finalising the details of their plan. Politically and morally, it's not a decision they can afford to get wrong. Romilly Weeks, ITV News.
The man in charge of Prince Charles's charitable foundation has stepped down temporarily from his role after allegations of misconduct. Michael Fawcett has worked with the Prince for decades, having once been a close aide. It's alleged he offered to help a wealthy Saudi businessman to obtain an honour. Our royal editor Chris Shipp reports.
In terms of staff who have been with Prince Charles for a very long time, few can beat Michael Fawcett. Here are the two men when our cameras filmed them at Dumfries House in Ayrshire in 2017. Fawcett is a one-time valet and royal aide, and until yesterday the chief executive of one of the Prince's charities, which is close to his heart. But in today's Sunday Times, Mr Fawcett is accused of offering to upgrade the honour for this Saudi businessman, Mahfouz Murray Mubarak bin Mahfouz, who was already an OBE, in return for donations to the Prince's foundation. The tycoon denies any wrongdoing. Last night, Michael Fawcett stepped down temporarily while the charity's trustees investigate. It said the Prince's Foundation takes very seriously the allegations that have already been brought to its attention, and the matter is currently under investigation.
Nobody is suggesting that Prince Charles is taking this money for his own advantage. I mean, he is actually doing a lot of very good work at Dumfries House. The real question is how careful he should be with where the money comes from.
The Prince's Foundation is based at Dumfries House, a Scottish estate Prince Charles rescued in 2007. It runs a range of projects for young people and, like any charity, it needs donations. But for the time being, its work will continue without the man who has been a long servant of the heir to the throne. Chris Ship, ITV News.
A government minister has confirmed that so-called vaccine passports will be required for nightclubs and other venues in England from the end of this month. Vaccines Minister Nadhim Zahawi said by then both jabs will have been offered to everyone aged over 18. Tributes are being paid tonight to Sarah Harding, a former member of the group Girls Aloud, who has died of breast cancer at the age of 39. Her former bandmate Nadine Coyle has told fans she's devastated. Mark McQuillan reports.
Sarah.
This was the moment in 2002 when Sarah Harding's life changed immeasurably, securing a spot in the band Girls Aloud during the burgeoning phase of reality TV. The group achieved huge success with 4 #1 singles before parting 11 years later. But after competing so hard to get to the top, the singer has been facing a very different personal battle in recent months. She announced on social media a year ago that she had breast cancer, and that is where her mother announced her death this afternoon, posting, "It's with deep heartbreak that I'm sharing the news that my beautiful daughter Sarah has sadly passed away. I know she won't want to be remembered for her fight against this terrible disease. She was a bright, shining star, and I hope that's how she can be remembered instead." Sarah Harding's talents weren't confined to singing. She developed an acting career which included roles in the film St Trinian's 2 and Coronation Street.
Just tell him Joni dropped by.
But she'll be best remembered as a member of a hugely popular band and someone who turned ambitions of pop stardom and success into reality.
Sarah Harding, who has died at the age of 39. On to sport now, and England and Wales have moved a step closer to qualifying for the Qatar World Cup. England beat Andorra 4-0 in their first game at Wembley since the Euros final. Jesse Lingard scored 2 in a comfortable win. It was less straightforward for Wales, though, who had to come from behind to win 3-2 against Belarus. Gareth Bale scored a hat-trick. The Women's World Cup qualifiers start later this month, and it's just been announced that the England games will be shown here on ITV. ITV Sport will present the Lionesses' matches for the next 4 years. And finally, Paralympics GB won 2 more medals on the last day of competition in Tokyo, which was followed by a spectacular closing ceremony. The GB team secured 124 medals in total, 41 of them gold, finishing in second place overall behind China. The Queen today sent the athletes a special message of congratulations, saying, "Your performances have lifted the nation and your triumphs been celebrated by us all." And that is it. We're back with more at 10 o'clock. Until then, have a very good evening. Bye-bye.